Good morning or good afternoon or wherever you may be joining me from. Welcome back to Too Ambitious. I am so happy that you all are here today and also to Happy Women's History Month. So, if you are an ally of women, which we hope you are, make sure that you are supporting all the women in your life. And for those that are not, that you don't know personally, make sure you support their businesses. Support women owned businesses, buy their books, support their endeavors, fund their businesses. We all know how important that is to uplift women in our society. And I just want to make sure that we kind of keep showing a lot of love to women out there. So, today on my show, I'm super excited to have my guest on the show today. She is another phenomenal woman that we met on LinkedIn. I feel like I'm meeting like a good 90% of my friends now on LinkedIn. Like, we met on LinkedIn. I feel like there should be a group or something. But, if this is your first time joining the show, this is a show that celebrates Black women and women of color who are innovators, disruptors, and you probably already guessed, very ambitious. So thank you for joining me. Make sure you light up the chat. Let me know where you're joining me from. And let's get into it. So let me tell you who our guest is. So today, Erica Prevell is in the studio. She is the author of Release and Renew, Transform Burnout into Purpose and Unlock Joy and Ease. Yes. Erica is a former healthcare executive who shares her experience with burnout in her debut book. Now, after taking a year-long sabbatical to realign her life, she found joy and ease and a new path to wellness. So let's learn about how she started living a life of ease and helping other women to prioritize their wellness as well, because we know that is super important. So without further ado, please welcome author Erica Prevell to Too Ambitious. I want you guys to light her up, show her some love. Welcome, 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 Erica.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for extending the invite. I'm happy to have this conversation with you today.
Yes, I'm super happy that you're here, looking fabulous in your pink, you
Thank
know.
you.
I
Thank you.
know. I
I
mean,
used to be a former style blogger, so it's still in me. It's still in me.
I love that, and I do style too. So,
I know you do, girl. That's
so
how we
yeah,
connected.
so we've got the style energy today. So, but I'm so happy that you're here today and, to have this conversation, such an important conversation. And, why don't we start off by, let's set the stage a little bit, tell me a little bit about, why you chose to write this book. Like, how did this happen,
Yes. So Release and Renew is the book.
Hey.
Here she is. And she is part memoir, part guide. And it's taking you along the journey of my burnout. It really dives into the root cause of my burnout, how I overcame it, and how I intentionally live my life today. Also, each chapter has journal prompts that offers the reader deeper reflection for themselves. And what drew me to write this book is, as you stated, while I was on sabbatical, I took nearly a year off to really heal my mind and body. And during that time, I was doing a lot of volunteering to organizations that really spoke to me that I didn't have the time or the energy for while I was burnt out.
Right.
I was traveling around the world and having conversations with people and telling them, as soon as you say, oh, I'm on sabbatical, they want to know why or what. So just having conversations with people and sharing my story with them, I kept hearing the same sentiment of, you should write a book. More women need to hear about that. And I had never even thought about writing a book. So that's where the idea kind of stemmed from. For me to write this book.
Ah, I see. Well, which totally makes sense, because people love to hear a story and especially I like to say our origin story. How did all this happen? So take me back a little bit. What were you experiencing? What was your experience with burnout? Everybody, it's kind of like a hot topic right now. It's always been around. But I feel like more so now as of late, I'm hearing burnout a lot more. But what was your experience with it?
Yeah. So as you stated, so I want to just put out there first, I am not a burnout expert.
Right.
I am not a mental health professional. I'm
Yeah.
just sharing my experience with the burnout and an experience that resonates with many other Black women or women of color
Mhm.
during my conversations. So, yeah, burnout, just a basic definition really quickly, is chronic stress, emotional, physiological, psychological, physical stress
Right.
that's gone on for way too long,
Yep.
unmanaged, that's burnout. My experience with it is I found myself as an MBA holding, healthcare leader in a very large organization. I was managing a very large team.
Yeah.
The pandemic had entered the chat.
Right?
I was 60 pounds overweight. I was exhausted all the time. It was like a thirst that I could not quench no matter how much water I
Mhm.
drank, no matter how much rest I got. I was still exhausted. I was working nearly 7 days a week. And I was taking not one, but two types of prescription anxiety medication
Oh my
just to go to
gosh.
work. So
Wow.
that was my experience with burnout. And to be
Oh.
quite honest, I didn't know I was burnt out. And that's many women's story as well.
Exactly, that is many women's story. Yeah, and also I think for you too, I mean, working in healthcare, I mean, I think we all know what it was like, during the pandemic, healthcare workers took the brunt of, taking care of everybody else, you know?
That's
So,
exactly it. So yeah, I was working again for a very large medical organization, and we were open 7 days a week. We didn't close not one day.
oh my God. Well, I am so glad that you are here to tell the story and to share your story. That's for sure. And I know that you mentioned that, a lot of Black women and women of color, have experienced burnout. And you even write in your book, growing up as an African American woman, the world groomed me to one day land in this place greeted by burnout. Can you share a bit more about coming to that realization and why you say that?
Yeah, so in writing the book, I took a journey of deep, deep reflection and like, how did I get here? Like, what
Yeah,
were those building blocks that got me here? And I'm sure
right.
you can relate, and many other Black
Mhm,
women and
mhm.
women of color can relate. We were kind of raised to always be three times as good, go three times as harder than everyone else. And that was my
Mhm.
story as well. And doing my reflections for the book and in writing the book, I came to a realization that by 7 years old, I was already a full blown overachiever. And that only compounded itself as I got older, as different expectations were placed upon me, both
Yeah,
spoken and unspoken.
yeah.
And my grandmother graduated from college in the 1950s. So
Mm.
excellence was deep inside my DNA.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it laid the groundwork for, again, being greeted with burnout.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so many of us can relate to that story, you've got to be 10 times, better, that whole line,
Yeah,
which, yeah, has caused burnout for many of us.
many.
I've experienced burnout and like you, didn't even know it was happening. I just thought, I was like, "Man, I'm tired all the time," you know? So I completely get it, talk a little bit about, what what was happening in that time in your life, and what was the one thing that you were just like, "Okay, enough is enough. I need to take care of myself," because
Yeah,
this has been going on for, like, a while.
yeah. Cumulatively, it was probably like almost a 2 year period of time.
Uh-huh.
And as you just stated, I just knew my word was something is off here. Something is off with my mind and my body. Especially, I was always pretty thin, and me being nearly 200 pounds. At first, I kind of blamed it on just aging. Oh, you're getting older,
Yeah.
you're getting heavy. But that was like something is off here. And then being on two types of prescription medications just to kind of be able to manage at work,
Yeah.
I was like, something has got to change.
Right.
And being the ambitious woman that I am, I
Right.
didn't sit around and wait for that change to happen. I created that change for myself. And
Right.
I started to look for other career opportunities because I
Mhm.
was in a place where I was very consciously aware that the position that I was in wasn't going to change, the role
Right.
wasn't going to change, the expectations around it wasn't going to change. So at that time, I knew that my only option was to leave, that role that I was in.
Yeah. I love that you decided to save yourself,
Yeah.
right? That was super smart. And obviously it has paid off. I reference your book because I've read the book
Thank
and I
you.
love it. It's so easy to read, and it does read like a memoir.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, tell me more,
Yeah.
so this is great, in your book, you also share, as you explored alignment, you suggest we create and call on a circle of life collaborators through books, readings, podcasts. What are some of your recommendations for anyone who's just starting on their healing journey? What worked for you, you know?
Yeah, so that's chapter 9, alignment. And in that chapter, I really discuss my awareness of how I came to a point that I knew that my mind, body, and spirit would have to be in alignment for me to step into this new season, burnout free.
Yep.
Everybody's, journey is super personal, but you have to, find what resonates with you. However, I
Right.
did a lot of reading and a lot of just seeking information on what would kind of help me start to move in a
Yeah.
different way.
Yeah.
And in addition to regular appointments with my therapist, who I was in,
Mhm.
regular communication with, I
Right.
read a lot of the classics like Deepak Chopra's Seven Spiritual Laws. I also read Untamed by Glennon Doyle, who that was really, really
Mhm.
good. I
Mm.
read like every last one of Brene Brown's books.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was consuming and still consume to this day, like all things Sarah Jakes Roberts. So
Yeah.
one of the things that really kind of just helped me just start to look at things a little bit differently and start to develop my own strategy for how I was
Right.
going to navigate this next season of my life post burnout.
Yeah, 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 which is really, really, smart and key to rewiring the brain, in a lot of ways. So,
Yeah.
I really love that. I also just noticed your shirt too. What's that say? Embracing ease?
Yes.
Okay, come on, Brandon. I love it. I love it. Yes. So tell me a little bit about, what your life looks like now. What does wellness look like for you now, you know?
Yes. Today, my life is like a complete 180.
Mhm.
And people who know about what I've been through before and what I'm living today, they're like I can see it like all over you. Like
Yeah.
you exude like joy and ease.
Oh,
So although like things aren't perfect and I'm still like figuring out ways to
yeah,
navigate things
yeah,
myself, my days are well, my life is very intentional.
yeah.
I am intimately connected with ease.
Mm,
I'm very intentional about every single thing that I do in my life. My
mhm,
my goals, my actions, the work that I do is ease driven. My
And what
mornings.
what does ease look like, though? How
So,
do you describe that?
so I'm glad you asked
Yeah.
because ease definitely does not mean easy. It is
Okay.
something, it's something
Noted.
that I have to choose every single day. But for me and my little, tagline or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
embracing ease means that life is not easy. You're moving in a way where your nervous system is calm. You're moving in flow and not force. It's
Okay.
it's a literal like lifestyle shift. It's a lifestyle that you're living. It's not like a one size fits all.
Right.
It's a lifestyle. It's something that you choose every single day. I know, like you probably heard, people choose joy. You wake up to joy. You choose joy.
Right.
I have to choose ease every single day because we're still living in a world where a lot of things are going on.
Yeah.
Um, I choose to embrace calm and peace and
Mhm.
ease every single day.
Yes.
It
Yes.
allows me to be. navigating life in this way allows me to be a better leader, a better creative, a better
Mhm.
daughter, a better friend. It just allows me to be an overall better person.
Yeah, and I love that it's embracing ease, because it is a journey. I know for most people, you can't just sort of wake up and do it. It's like working out, right? You have
Correct.
to do it every day. It becomes part of your life,
It is. That's why I say it's a lifestyle, because it is something
Mhm.
that you have to regularly practice, like you said, like
Yes.
working out every single day.
Yeah.
My days, I have very intentional morning routine. I like to ease into my morning. I'm in Florida, so I spend lots of mornings on the beach before I even start
Nice.
my work day. Like, I make sure that ease is prioritized when I step out before I even get out of bed, so I can just know that my day is going to be aligned in this way. And
Right.
when, stressors or work things or
Yep.
issues pop
Yeah.
up, which they will happen, I'm still deeply grounded in
Yeah.
ease.
Yeah, and I thank you for sharing that with us, and also to being so vulnerable about your experience and being sharing it all in your book. It's been really eye opening because I think sometimes a lot of us just want to know that we're not alone,
Right,
So
right,
this is
right.
great. So you write a lot about your relationship with your grandmother. You talk about it a lot, the positive influence that she had on your life growing up. What do you think she would say to you today? This is your first book. I don't know if you have any others you want to write,
Yeah,
but
I do. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna
okay,
cry. I feel like I'm gonna cry a little bit, because
aw,
she would be like so proud. Like, I was the first
mm,
grandchild, so she
mm,
really was able to like pour it into me. I talk
yeah,
about it in the book, but she also
yeah,
like curated my creativity. Um,
yes.
so I think she would be like extremely, extremely proud.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure she would be, first grandchild. Oh my gosh, I know you got so much love and so much, you brought so much joy to her world,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is wonderful, and the work that you've done, you put into this book to share, I think should be very, very proud and honored to call you
Oh,
granddaughter, I'm sure.
thank you.
So yeah,
Thanks.
so what does this next phase for you looks like? Where do you go from here? You know, you got the book, you
Yeah,
wrote your story, everybody knows now,
yeah,
you are not a burnout professional. I'm
yeah,
gonna reiterate that she is not a
yes,
burnout professional, but you know some stuff,
yeah.
so where do you go for where's the next step now? You know?
Whew, so there's a lot being a creative. You have all these ideas, and
Yeah.
in having so many conversations with
Yep.
women post book launch, it
Yeah.
has been very clear to me that this work needs to be taken deeper.
Yeah.
So, as I haven't posted on LinkedIn all month. I'm behind the background in the background here.
'Cause you're busy.
Navigating what I want to how I want to take this work deeper,
Yeah.
and things that are probably, the next best step, like coaching and speaking. And although
Mm.
I want to do some of those things, I
Mhm.
also want to stay in alignment with what feels right for me.
Right.
So, I am building community. I do
Mhm.
have, I see you're showing my website there.
Yes, it's a
Um,
mess.
I do have an email list where I just created a community called the Easeful Ambition Collective, where
Mhm.
a group of women can sign up for that newsletter, and it'll
Okay.
share the highs and lows of this easeful, ambitious lifestyle
Yeah.
um, that I'm practicing. Also offer, practical strategies and tips and tools and all of that good stuff. And I also
Mm.
have just a regular, if you want to just stay in touch with me, email list. But I want to do a lot of things to take this work deeper. And right now, I'm just navigating what's the next best aligned step for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you recently had an event too. you
Yeah,
know?
so I
Yeah.
had my first book signing
Yay.
two Sundays ago. And
Okay.
I'm also doing these deep dive sessions from themes of the book for anyone who has purchased the book.
Okay.
I'm doing deep dive sessions. They're about every 4 weeks now. The next one is, I believe, March
Okay.
28th and 29th.
Okay.
Where I'm going into deeper into the certain themes of the book. And
Right.
again, it's a live, it's live, it's not pre-recorded, it's
Okay.
very interactive. The women who have shown up for the very first one, they were very engaged.
Love
So
it.
I'm also leading those in addition to the book that's out there.
Yeah, I think that's such a wonderful way to build community and again, I believe your story is resonating with so many. I mean, you look at some of the feedback that you're getting. This one's from Krissa. I really connected with the author's story about achievement and validation. The journal prompts in each chapter really resonated with me and guided me back to my foundation. Release and Renew allowed me to create such vivid visuals through the author's words. The reader check ins were an unexpected yet deeply supportive touch. This book was exactly what I needed. And that's by Tiffany S. I mean, this is all awesome and wonderful feedback, especially for a first time author coming out the gate. This is awesome. You know, we didn't touch on it too, is the fact that you do have those journal prompts in the book too. So it becomes kind of like a workbook in a way or a
Yeah, that's
journal.
why I call it part memoir, part guide, because it
Oh,
is like I didn't want this book to be just about me, because
right.
again, I know many women can connect with this story. So I wanted
Mhm.
to provide the opportunity to allow the reader to
Yeah.
go to reflect deeper on their story. And I
Right.
have been getting a lot of great feedback from the journal prompts.
Yeah, I like the journal prompts too, because in the moment when you read your story and then you're like, now you write about them. I'm like, okay, you can sort of relate because I think sometimes, especially when in our journey of healing, things can feel a bit abstract. But I think what makes your book really unique is that it's just so relatable. You explain it in a way that anybody can understand,
Yeah.
and say, yeah, that's exactly what I was going through, so I love that. So thank you for, everything that you've done with this book,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, so I know you have, the community that you're building and everything like that. So is this just for anybody in Florida, or is this anyone can be a part of the community to
Oh
continue?
yeah, anyone could be a part of the community.
Okay.
I'm getting on a cadence, but the ideal would be to send out communications or email or newsletter
Mhm.
um, once a week. But yeah, anyone, if you have an internet connection, you can join.
Yeah, for sure. And so let's talk a little bit about community. I know that you're building one on LinkedIn and you've made some connections. I mean, that's where we met and everything like that. And I know you're still working it through right now, but I think that's kind of the sweet stuff too, is that you're like, I'm not really sure, what would be your dream? What does that look like, for you when you're thinking about it?
Yeah, so I would like to do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
That's like the multi passionate in me. So
Yeah.
I would like to do a little bit of like one-on-one coaching with women. I would like to do aligned speaking opportunities. I would like to do workshops. I have
Okay.
one coming up soon. Um,
Okay.
that I'm doing at a hair salon. Again, I'm meeting Black women where they are,
Mhm,
in the hair
mhm.
salon to talk about burnout and ease. I would like to create digital products. So
Mm.
that's the multi passionate in me. That's never
Yeah,
going to go away either, as
right.
well as my ambition will never go away. So
Yeah.
I think all of them, I want to build like an ecosystem
Okay,
around
yeah.
the themes up from the book. And I think that will happen. But while I'm embracing ease, I have to make aligned and intentional decisions. So right now, I'm really trying to figure out which path I want to take next. Is that
Yeah.
coaching? Is that digital products? What would that look like?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you can definitely do it all,
Yeah, for sure.
with help and with ease,
Yes,
you
for
know?
sure. Yeah.
No more
Yeah.
burnout,
And I
you
want to
know?
mention that too. I feel like sometimes as ambitious, high achieving women, time often gets in our way. Oh, I wish we had time to do this, or I wish we have time to do that. Believe it or not, like in this new life that I'm living, I'm doing more. Like I still work a traditional corporate 9 to 5. Last year, I spent the entire year writing a book. I'm
Right.
building a business. I'm doing more and I'm still embracing ease. So it's all about your energy management, finding how things align with you, and you do have the time. And that's going to be an avenue that I think I'm going to go into as well, just helping ambitious women kind of figure out you do have the time to do that
Yeah.
thing that you want to do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think that, I think you've hit on something right there. We live in this capitalistic society and we're all moving so fast. And, you always hear people are like, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the time, but yeah, I think we need a new way to kind of make time and make better use of our time, you
Right.
know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you figure that out, let me know.
I will.
Okay. All
I
right.
figured out a few things. It's like how am I going to package it? So that's what I'm working on behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be great. I'd be all for that because yeah, I feel like I'm running around most days, you know. So my last question to you is about ambition. And so, I always ask all my guests, do you consider yourself ambitious? Obviously, you do, but what does that look like for you now? Does your ambition have changed post burnout and post this book?
Absolutely. I am ambitious, but I'm easefully ambitious. And what that
Mhm.
means for me is that, again, all of my decisions, my goals, the way that I live my life is driven by ease. My wellness is my top priority, and
Yeah.
every decision is filtered through the lens of my wellness. So,
Mhm.
ease and prioritizing my wellness fuels my ambition.
I love that answer. That is awesome. And so for final, where can we get your book, Erica? Where can we get
Yeah, head
your book?
over to ericaprevell.com
Okay.
and
Yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
get it there.
Erica Prevell. All right. Is there anything else you want to add about the book or you that I may not have asked?
I appreciate your support. I appreciate you inviting me on and for reading the book. And if anyone else is out there who this kind of content resonates with, feel free to join my email list and or just reach out directly. My email information is on my website as well.
Amazing. And also too, you're on LinkedIn.
I
You're on
am.
LinkedIn. You're on LinkedIn. That's a great way to slide into your DMs as well.
Yeah.
So, well, great. Well, thank you so much, Erica, for taking the time to have this conversation. I enjoyed our conversation. It was very ease. It was a lot of ease. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Of
Thank you so
course.
much.
Of course. Well, I look forward to seeing how far you keep going with this and where you take it, because anything is possible. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Especially for an ambitious woman.
especially for an ambitious woman. See, you said it. That's the word right there. Well, awesome. Well, thank you again, Erica, for being on the show. And thank you, everyone, for joining Too Ambitious today. We'll be back next week with another incredible woman who is changing the game and showing us all basically how to live a better life and hopefully how to embrace ease. So thank you so much, Erica. We'll see you soon, everyone.